All right, I'm walking from the Walmart. Check out. It's a nice sidewalk too. It's not too active of a road. They decided to put a big long sidewalk on it. I'm walking to the Prairie Museum in hopes of finding a good parking spot for the day, possibly. On the map, it doesn't look so good. I'm gonna give it a good looking on the ground. If it doesn't look acceptable, then I'm gonna have to go a lot farther from the Walmart because I didn't see anywhere for like a park or something that I could park during the day. There's no way I'm parking at this Walmart during the daytime. Yeah, just like on the map, I wasn't too thrilled about what I saw here for parking. Uh, it's right along the building, which is kind of a rendition of old style housing when pioneers first moved in here by digging into the ground. I guess there wasn't a big problem with rain. What do we got here? No unauthorized persons or vehicles. Persons too, beyond this point. I mean, I like parking next to the sign right on the end here. They don't really have any regulations besides don't go back there. It's a closed museum for COVID, and I just question how active is it. Could I just move over here for the day and cover up all my windows and sit here, or what? It's kind of a risk-taking venture, I think, until they kick me out, until somebody says something. Makes me a little nervous. An $8 museum, 9 to 5, long hours. See, it's the art part that gets me. $8 too. Jeez. Would they have a problem with me parking here during the day? See, I'm pretty sure that they'll have like security come out to check things out. Maybe a hit on me a couple of times. I don't know. It looks like a risk that's worth trying. So after reading, I saw a picture of a before and after for the COVID. It's sickness of some muscular gay guy in the before, and then after he got sick, he got really skinny and stuff. And I was like, wow, I gotta learn more about this. And then I found out he's gay, and yeah, he suffered and all that. After the sickness, he said that he got McDonald's, and it's like, wow, this guy doesn't eat too healthy, but he looks that fit. I think he was on steroids. And then that got me questioning, what are the chances that gay people might be more likely to take steroids than straight people? I just like, what are the chances that gay people don't procreate, so they're gonna try to get the best out of their own bodies? That's one of the upsides of living the lifestyle. They care about, a lot of them tend to care about improving their physical fitness and all that, and it just makes me wonder, would they be more likely, have a greater tendency to take steroids? Maybe not. I don't know. It got my attention because he's 43 and just a year younger than me, and I'm thinking, he looked healthy, but maybe the steroids compromised his immune system. I'm thinking that, with his statement about eating McDonald's afterward, that he's not really that good at consuming healthy things. Talking about eating McDonald's and looking like that, it's got to be steroids, and that the steroids may have, and maybe other growth enhancement drugs for the age of 43. I think he might have compromised his immune system with drugs. Alright, I'm a little sad to report I did spill some some of this tomato sauce. Had it upside down. It's so hard to keep track of things. They turn upside down, and they want to turn upside down so often. It's like everything I have for a container is top heavy. No, do you need anything?
Nope.
Why are you parking so close to me?
Because this is where I work.
And, oh, this is where the employees park?
Yeah.
But you're not going to be open today.
We're not open, but the
Yeah.
staff is here.
The staff? How many staff are working here?
A few.
Yeah? When do you open up?
Not sure yet.
Just going to make a verbal notation about this. I saw a cop tailgating another car, and that car turned into the Walmart here. I'm looking at this, two cars very close together, and I'm like, wow, that's weird. And then as they get closer, I see it's a cop tailgating the car. I was just giving a funny face to him, and he just kind of waved at me. I think it's a fat Mexican in the cop car. It's just ridiculous. You know, I think every cop should be required to carry a 25-pound plate to lift when they get stressed out. They should be required to do some weightlifting on the job every so often somehow, because that is a great stress relief. Too many people, in fact everybody, should probably carry some kind of a nice weight that they could just lift when they get stressed out in their car. That way they got a mobile gym. You don't need a lot. 25-pound plate is pretty decent, but a 25 and a 45, that's a little more decent. All right, it takes a little time to mix. What do I got? Like 7, 8 different herbs in here. Nice and dark. I didn't put a lot of liquid in. I also added, I'm gonna burn myself. It's probably still hot. I added some pigweed. So smell it. I cooked some pigweed. I just only took it up to boiling, and then poured that pigweed water into the coffee mix for a really dark mix. It's still too hot, so I'm gonna add the last of my milk that I've been using as a tomato sauce smoothie with added cayenne. This is very bitter. What did I add? I added coffee, catnip, cloves, and peppermint. Alright, I started watching Shipping Wars about a week ago. Week and a half? 2 weeks ago maybe at tops. Got really into it. Probably watching a couple shows a day, 20-minute shows. A&E uploaded the full shows, and I'm really getting into it. Apparently there's, as far as I understand, 7 seasons. There might be more. I didn't do much research on it, but it's really entertaining, and I've been enjoying watching it. It's great. I thank them that they uploaded to YouTube. They probably have not been getting the views they wanted, and finally uploaded to YouTube. And it started in 2012. This is an old show, and one of my favorite characters, Roy, who he's got an attitude that's a little annoying, over the top, but I found him interesting. I find out he died in 2014. This is 2020. I just started watching Shipping Wars, and I found out he died. And how I found out was in one of the episodes. I forget the other guy's name. Jared and another old guy, they made a reference to Roy, saying like Roy would have been proud. And I'm like, what? Roy would have been proud? And then they look up to the sky. Roy would have approved of this. And I'm like, what? Are you suggesting he's dead? So I look him up, and he died in 2014. I never knew about shipping wars until 2020, and then I never knew about Roy dying in 2014 until yesterday. And it's like, wow, this show is old. And that guy, he died a long time ago. And it's just amazing. Apparently he died of a heart attack at 49. I'm 44, so this is something that I got to be concerned about. He was a smoker, really skinny guy. He looked like he was in his 50s. All right. And when your hair goes gray, that means your heart's failing. And my hair rapidly went gray in my 30s because I was having a lot of health issues with just being dumb, I guess. I think I'm improving it now with catfish and maybe coffee. Definitely cayenne pepper and tomato sauce. I'll still go gray, but I might be slowing it down. I'm not sure. I know it came on pretty quickly because I was really struggling, and I think that's a sign when your heart's not doing so great. You start going gray. And Roy, in his 40s, late 40s, he was a full head of gray. He was called the Silver Jesus. In his 40s, he looked older. Black circles around his eyes, full head of gray hair. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what age people are supposed to get a full head of gray hair. Black people tend to take a little bit longer to get the gray hair and the cracked skin. White people tend to get gray hair a little sooner, unless you're Steve Martin, really sooner. But it's just sad to think, that I am now watching Shipping Wars, knowing that Roy is dead, and there's still quite a few episodes that I haven't seen with him in it, and I'm just like, wow, this is a dead man on the show now, and I'm looking at it in a different way. It's still very entertaining. It looks like I moved a little too far west because the goat heads are getting worse, sticking to my tires. I think I got them all. They're getting worse in this drier climate. Goat heads. Alright, I think I need to get frozen catfish. What is this, like 2 pounds? I don't know if this is the only option. I can't get fresh. 2 pounds. Maybe I'll try to cook a pound today and then a pound tomorrow. 2 pounds. I could eat that in a meal actually too. They just need to get unfrozen. So on the Google Maps, it says Fred Meyers Fuel Center, but it clearly says Dillons here. And I asked an employee inside why it's called Fred Meyer, and she's like, "Oh, I have no idea." But then she says also that Dillons is a part of Fred Meyers. So that's news to me. I like Fred Meyers, especially with their bulk herb section, but this Dillons does not have that. So they're in the same family, but they don't practice many of the same standards with a nice peanut butter machine and stuff. I have a fondness for the Fred Meyers setup. Fred Meyers also owns Smith's, because they had a lot of similarities. Smith's, Dillons, but they don't have the same standards of practice with the bulk herb section. That's a shame. Alright, it's kind of nice that this pedal gives way a little bit, because when I take off my shoes, sometimes I get underneath there. That gives way going up a little bit. That's pretty helpful. Compared to this doesn't give, this one doesn't give. The gas gives a little bit. That's pretty helpful, because now that I have the seat up closer, I hit the pedals a little bit more. It's better for driving to have it closer, but relaxing is a different story. How weird am I for believing that shaving down copper, you can see all the dust, copper dust flakes on my clothes. There also could be some sandpaper flakes. Getting them on my clothes and just in my car in general is good for me. I believe that shaving down copper, it even shaves using the jackknife too. it's a pretty soft metal. so is lead, but I can shave it down. Look at that. I get little flakes, and it seems like that's kind of good for me. I'll get it on my clothes and on my hands and stuff and around my car, and it's kind of a natural disinfectant. And I found this too near Lowe's. Somebody just dropped it in the grass, so I could shave down copper when I find it into flakes in my car. Dangerous or a genius or stupid is, I mean, because I believe copper is pretty healthy, and turning it into flakes. I mean, people drink Goldschlager, that hard alcohol with gold flakes in it. They're swallowing. I'd prefer to shave down gold or silver. Have a nice variety of metals to shave down and just be exposed to, but copper is all I have access to, really. For free, people are dropping it in the grass. But how beneficial is it to shave it down? So Walmart does a good job fertilizing this cornfield behind it by putting plastic bags out onto the field to help stimulate growth. I'm not here to cause any problems. I'm just sitting in my car. What? I just don't understand. You persecute people who just want to sit in their cars.